when we're talking about galantines, valentines, and roulades, talking about stuffing some kind of meat with some other either meat or filling, right? Sorry. So I always tell people that to differentiate valentine and galantine, it's like valentine starts with a B for baby, and galantine starts with a G for giant, right? So a valentine is a part of an animal, so it would be like stuffing the leg and the thigh of the chicken, right? And a galantine would be the whole thing. And the idea is that we debone it and then we refill it, right? With some kind of sausage. This time we're going to use our leftover sausage from the duck, right? And then there's roulades, and in order to get to a galantine, or in order to get to a roulade, we got to get to a galantine, right? So what I'm going to show you is taking the skin off of this whole chicken and then taking some pieces, and then at that point you would just take the dark meat and make a sausage with it, right? Instead of doing that, we're going to use the sausage that we already have pre-made. And then for a galantine, we would just put the chicken back together how it is. So we just pipe in there, and the idea will be that there's no bone in it, and you're basically making a chicken roast that looks like a chicken that you could slice, and it'd be just all meat. I do that to my turkey for Thanksgiving, at least to the clan. And then it's nice because you put it out, and there's no like carving around the bones. It's like you slice it and then you're ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So to do that, we need to do several things. First, we're gonna go to the first joint of the wing, and we're gonna go there and pop that guy off, right? And then we're gonna cut that guy out of the way, and we're gonna go on the other side and do the same thing. Okay. Make sure that you have the skin cut all the way through, all the way around it, so you're successful at pulling this off. There you go. That goes there, that goes there, and then you're gonna go and cut all the way around the chicken legs here. Cool. Once we have that part, we have the first part done. We're gonna turn it around. We're gonna go right straight to the backbone. We're gonna cut a line right on the backbone all the way down. Okay.
Don't forget your step today.
Oh, well, I just saw it. Thank you.
And now our next step is gonna be to remove the skin from the chicken without breaking it. Right? So we're just gonna start right here. We're gonna do that with our hands. We don't need the knife for this. Just gonna slowly hold it and pull it. It's kind of like I have to change a baby. It's kind of what's going to happen here. The chicken's going to want to do something, and you're going to tell it that you're going to do something else. So I'm going to slowly keep working my way around it. The only time that we might need the knife is when we get around the wing, if we get to some tendons there. But usually you would just pull the leg. You see that?
I don't.
I am.
Have you ever tried to take pants off of a fighting toddler?
No?
Yeah, when you have something like this, you can just hit it a little bit with the knife.
That'll
But just make
scratch it.
sure that you're not ripping the skin. If you have to cut the fat a little bit, that's okay. But I only use the knife when I feel like I'm forcing it too much. If I'm forcing it too much with my fingers, then I go ahead and
Do you also use a knife when you take the pants off the bedroom?
no.
She didn't answer.
No, don't do that. See, you don't want to do that I just did there. So when you feel like, that's why I said around the wing, sometimes it requires your knife. So, and if that's the case, then just put your fingers underneath the skin. Just cut it off. There you go. And then we can continue doing that. When we get to the keel bone, so half of your chicken is undressed, then starting the other side. Bring it over. Just kind of push your finger in there. I'm going fairly fast. I would ask you to take a little bit of time with it for the first time that you're doing it, until you kind of get used to what it's supposed to be like. You know what I mean? Usually, if you're doing a galantine, we will be taking the meat with us at the same time. I wouldn't undress the legs. I would just, like, we would cut right here on the joints of the wings, and we just, like, literally open the chicken and pull the carcass out. Alright, but for the roulade, we need the skin intact, and that's why I gave you the recipe that has all the pictures. That's kind of where we're going, yeah? And it's kind of giving you a step-by-step of what's going to happen. Here we go one more time. You guys see this right here? That's what I'm looking at. Like, that's what's really gonna give you a hard time, is when you get to a joint like that. It's gonna give you a hard time. There we go. There we go. And here's the whole skin. Right? Silence of the Lambs kind of thing. You know? But we'll pull this to the side, and then what we really need from here is the breast, right? So we're gonna remove those. So there's one, and there's the next one. And I know it looks a little crazy right now, but it's gonna be back to normal in about 10 minutes, yeah? Remove the tenderloins, get rid of those. So in a normal situation, I would take the rest of that meat and make a sausage for this. Okay? So all we gotta do right now is take this chicken and give it a quick butterfly. So we split that breast in half, but not all the way, okay? Like that. That's half of our roulade. Should look like a heart.
And we're just doing this one all together, right? Or are we each doing?
You're all doing your own chicken.
Oh.
Okay, you guys see that? Cool. Then we can put those two to the side. We can take our skin.
So disgusting.
You won't think so in a little bit. I guarantee you that.
Fried chicken.
That's pretty much what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be around the chicken. Alright, we're gonna go like that. And then we're gonna say, hey, you live here. And you live here. And now we have the beginning of a roulade, right? Where that piping bag go with the sausage? Oh, right here. Yeah. Then we would just take this sausage and pipe some in the middle. Alright, and that goes there. And we roll this thing actually and move it to the other side because it has better skin and less rip. Okay? The only reason I'm moving it because I have this split right here. So like that. And I'm just gonna leave just a little bit extra skin, but not much more. Okay? I have maybe 1.5 inches extra skin there. Cool? And then I'm gonna move to the plastic. Make sure when you move to the plastic that the skin is overlapping the other one, yeah? Then we can take the plastic and roll it up. Keep a nice shape. Roll it nicely. And like a candy, you can roll it on your board. See that? Hey Sandy, would you bring me a couple of toothpicks, please? Tie one side. And this is kind of the same thing that we were doing with that summer sausage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done this with like a seafood fish stand go around it?
I've done a salmon one, which we're actually going to make next week, and using phyllo dough in the outside. And it's usually like a crab cake mix in the inside, the salmon fillet in the outside, and then you wrap it on phyllo dough. As you do this, just like when we were working with sausages, you see there's some air pockets there. So we're going to go like that. And that's just to loosen up some air out of there, yeah? String. Give it a quick knot. Once we have it with a knot, it's much easier. And we can do that one more time. And then we take this and we're gonna make it as tight as possible by just starting to go around and having the string create some pressure. See that? Once you have 2 or 3 times around, you can kind of go like that. Do that, makes it nice and tight. And then we tie it one more time. Once you have it like that, cut the extra string and plastic. We're gonna wrap it one more time in a piece of cheesecloth, so when we poach it, the plastic doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot, yeah? There's no need to add a lot of pressure now, okay? So, just gonna put it on that. When I tie this, I want to take the knot that I made in the plastic with this, like I want to tie it in the inside, closer to the chicken.
Underneath of the...
Yeah, underneath the other knot. So I'm going to go right there. Pull it. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm going to tie it in the other side. Sometimes it becomes a little stubborn, but it shouldn't be too bad. There you go. Then I always I took a piece of cheesecloth and I opened it up. And I just have a string here. And basically just put that in the middle to protect it a little bit more and to make it easy to lift up and take off of the water. Yeah. Just don't overpress it so you don't have a knot indented when your chicken is cooked. And then just cut all this extra stuff out of the way. There we go. And now we have holes so the water or the stuff will get in there and it'll poach until it's completely cooked. And then after that, we'll roll it in paper towel. I like letting them dry overnight, open, so the skin gets really dry, and then frying them and they get really crispy in the outside. So you could either deep fry it or pan fry it. I think pan fry is the best way to go. And I would just put seasoning down first and start pan frying there and then work my way around it. but this is something that is fairly easy to do, and then you should be able to slice this no problem.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Okay.
Cool.